Bonjour, ¿cómo estás? Now, take this video with a grain of salt. This is too zoomed in. Take this video with a grain of salt. When the title says to stop chasing that perfect life, whatever that title is, stop chasing that perfect life, stop seeking everything to be perfect, the journey to be perfect, the checkpoints to be perfect, things need to happen at this point, I need to have this so I can have this in the future. In this, I think in any day and age, in any era, but especially this one, it's easy to compare. Obviously, this is the easiest era to compare yourself to another because we have social media, and with social media comes a lot of instabilities with people, with the person, with society, and etc. Especially with certain governments using social media as. But regardless, our pursuit of greatness, that in itself is a utility. That in itself is something that everybody should at least try to hone with themselves, should try to emulate, and should try to not pursue, but achieve. But when we lose ourselves over the fascination or the ideal version of a life, or the glitz and the glamour, or the, like I said, reaching certain points in your life, certain accolades, and putting those accolades or those events or whatever it may be at such a degree of importance, we tend to forget what truly makes life important. It's not working, it's not giving taxes, it's not making more money necessarily. Making more money is a result. It shouldn't be the pursuit of anything. Now, I understand money can eliminate a lot of worries, can eliminate a lot of stresses. Money happens to be the root of evil, but money happens to be the root of a lot of problems that a lot of people are facing. If you're not facing money problems, you have enough money, or you're wealthy enough that money isn't an issue. You're wealthy enough that riches can no longer affect you. You can be poor financially, but still be a lot more rich, a lot more wealthy, a lot more bountiful than someone that has more access to financial gains or financial assets. You know, more people are realizing that we truly are in a spiritual war, not necessarily like a religious war, but like there is so much debauchery, salaciousness, lust being propagated and pushed in front of us, greed, gluttony. Like, the sins have become, it's not even religious sake, it's like literally just like the seven sins have really become heightened in our day and age. And it's truly sad to see, that the people have, that we've lost our way. We lost our way of living, we lost our way of thinking, we lost our way of producing life and protecting life. We've become a lot more individualized. A lot of people have lost some sense of accountability because there's always another person that created a fault. There's always, it's somebody else's fault. I truly believe anything that happens in our life is a culmination of our choices, both the conscious choices and the subconscious. So the choices that we made and the choices we didn't make. Now, obviously, there's circumstances to everything, but regardless, I think if one believes that your situation, your mental state, your physical state, your emotional state, your spiritual state, if you take accountability for all those things, you will be much better off than a person that looks externally for issues. There's issues externally. It's not to say there isn't, but that's what I want to focus on. It's our journey internally, our journey spiritually, our journey to being whole and one with ourselves and then with one another. has become distorted, has lost its value, has lost its meaning. You know, when I mention the sins, like, there are more people getting involved, learning more about these things, and it's sad because, well, it's not. That's not sad. But what's sad is the fact that people are, what's the word? Not manipulating, but taking advantage of the ignorant, the naive, the newcomers. I'm still ignorant, man. I'm still ignorant, man. But the fact that people are taking advantage of the naive, the ones that are actually willing to put in true work so that they can see true success, long-term contentment, not happiness. Happiness is momentary, but can find contentment, can find love, find those things, self-love, and all those trust, and those things. The ones that are susceptible to not being, I guess I'll just say taken advantage. The ones that are susceptible to being taken advantage of are also the same ones that are also susceptible to not losing their way, but being jaded now to what it is, to doing shadow work, to just being positive and loving and caring to oneself. Shadow work is an extensive, that takes time. So does love, confidence, etc., etc. But when we focus on not chase, not pursue, not say to ourselves, this is what I'll be in the future. You don't say that. Don't say it, don't think it. You could think it, obviously have dreams, but what we should do, what we should think, and what we should say to ourselves and say out loud. Now, talking to others, you should be a little bit more, not secretive, but protective over what it is that is important to you. A lot of people, energy is transferable. Doesn't get destroyed, it's transferable. A lot of people can turn a positive energy within themselves and turn it negative, and vice versa. It could turn a negative to a positive. But you find a lot of people, once again, I bring it up, with the sins, and people have envy, people are jealous, people are greedy, people are gluttonous. They'll see an idea, they'll see somebody doing good, and once again, I mentioned earlier, accountability and things like that. A lot of people don't have that accountability to where they can see somebody within positive, someone living in light, someone living with the divine, living in abundance, and then themselves feel challenged or they feel triggered because they themselves haven't done necessary work. They themselves are either fascinated or not fascinated, but fixated on external things, and they've neglected the internal, and they didn't realize that they're broken and shattered on the inside, or they've suppressed what it really means to be human, And what does it mean to be human? What it means to be human is not to be perfect. Like, no entity is perfect. Only there's very few things that are perfect. The earth is perfect. How it was created was perfect. Obviously, we've damaged it. So, what is perfection at the end of the day? But perfection in itself is imperfection. What it means to be perfect, it means to be flawed. What it means to be human is to continually improve oneself and continually learn and be less ignorant, be less rigid, and to be more whole, be more understanding, to see a bigger picture, to understand this is not everything. You have blinders on. Once you start opening up, you start seeing more, you start realizing, oh, what I know and what I knew is insignificant. It's very minimal, minor to what truly is. I don't know. I do hope that, to whoever's watching, that if you are a person that is fixated on external, it's not bad to be. It's not bad to want more money, to want more affluence, influence, and things of that nature. But once those things start being priority, once possessiveness, once the material starts to be the priority, you will find that your day-to-day, how you live life, how you see life, how life feels to you, won't be as vivacious as it could be, as vibrant as it could be. Vivacious, I guess. But it's not as vibrant as it could be. Like, your life becomes dulled because of the light that you diminished. It's not the light that you diminished. I'm kind of hypocritical because I'm still going through the process, but this is, once again, I make these videos also for a reminder for myself. You know, I'm an individual that struggles. I'm an individual that, you know, makes mistakes. I'm human. I'm human. I used to really chase perfection. I used to really chase, not chase, but idolize being such a person that who I am now, or who I was, I thought was very subpar, very insignificant, and things of that nature. And when I feel, and it's, once again, I personally feel like it's good to have goals, it's good to have dreams, it's good to have high aspirations, and be ambitious. It's very good. It's very, very good to have a goal, a bigger goal, you know, something, a mountain to continually climb up, and to realize that there's always going to be higher mountains, there's always going to be bigger seas and things like that. But there's 24 hours in a day. We don't know if we're going to continue to live another day. So if we can get one step closer to truly loving ourselves and not being obsessed with ourselves, and not making ourselves seem more important than others, that's not the case. That's not what we should do. We're important, but so are other people. It's important to love us, but it's also important to love other people. It's important to trust us, but it's also important to trust other people. It's good to give ourselves grace. It's also good to give other people grace. For some people, it's easier to give other people the benefit of the doubt, and, you know, the more positives, and we tend to be a little bit more harsh and negative on ourselves. Some people have the opposite. Some people be positive on themselves, loving on themselves, and it's hard to do it to others. People will try to bring a fault to you. People will try to shame you. Now, how you go about it, I'm not gonna say those people doing that are necessarily in the fault, because, you know, you can still be a bad person as in the pursuit of goodness. But once again, it comes down to accountability. I've been a very flawed person. I was gonna make a separate video on this, but I'll include it in this. I'm 20. I'm gonna be 26 soon. For 25 years of my life, I've truly felt that in a lot of situations, it's been hard to be myself. Even around close friends, it took me a while to, you know, eventually, you know, be more honest, be more vulnerable, to, you know, be able to articulate my thoughts properly, to even have somebody try to understand properly. Because even if you try to articulate, sometimes how you say things will be misconstrued or misperceived. And that comes down to the person. People be like, okay, I see what you're saying, and I can tell that you're not fully saying what you want to say, or how you want to say it. So there's more context. Some people are very shallow thinkers, very shallow listeners. You know, they don't like to break things down. They just, oh, you said apple is red? Apple is red. Man, I also said it's green, yellow. All right. I just said it happens to be more red, but all right. You know, it's just like, we need more patience. We need more focus on true spirituality, on true self-love and positivity. Now, once again, positivity is harder to circulate, at least in the beginning, you know, especially when it comes to like media and just the regular day people, regular day sheep. You know, it's easy. Negative energy is easier to latch onto things. Positivity is more like, I don't know, it's more like the sun. The heat stays, but the heat spreads as well, and so it'll dissipate. But when it's cold, you feel the coldness. I don't know what the fuck that analogy was. What the fuck? What, does that even make sense? I think it does, but how does it anyways, look. The journey for us all is not going to be 1 year. It's not going to be 5 years. It's not going to be 10. The journey of us all is our entire life. And it's understandable for a person to lose sight of things at times. You know, life gets busy, life gets hectic. You know, when we're struggling, it's hard to keep our head afloat. So you're gonna naturally miss some things. Your perception is gonna be focused on other things, on survival's sake. But when you're stuck in that survival mode, and this is the thing that people don't want to truly accept, just no matter how busy you are, no matter if you have 2 jobs, you go to school, you work, if you have family obligations, whatever it may be, you will always have a set amount of time, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, and don't obsess over thinking, I need to do this for an hour, I need to do this for 2 hours. Now, it's great to have hobbies, passions that you're able to put more time into. It's great to put more time into self-work, meditating, stretching, whatever it may be, reading, whatever. But at the same time, 5 small steps can be 1 big step. You don't have to just focus on taking a giant leap. Take the small steps. Take the small strides. When you're riding a bike, sometimes you need training wheels. When you're riding a skateboard, sometimes you're not going to be able to do a fucking ollie off the rip. You have to learn how to ride the board, be comfortable with it, learn the foundations, the basics of what it is to live, what it is to live with yourself, what it is to love and like yourself, to be able to be disciplined, to be determined, to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Not clean, but organized. Take the time to go through the small steps. Take the time to learn, to take losses, to be a fool. Like, I saw a video, like, we get caught up in the image that people, we get caught up in certain images, and also being perceived. You know, a lot of people don't want to be that fool. A lot of people don't want to be wrong. They don't want to be pointed out for their mistakes. But bro, nobody's perfect. If anybody judges, it says more about themselves. If anybody says things to you negatively, it says way more about them than it says about you. Constructive criticism is a different thing. Now, I think you should tell people constructive criticism when they ask. Now, if they're doing something, sometimes you gotta let them know. But once again, there's lines between criticism and negativity. I definitely did not mean to make this 20 minutes, but here it is. I feel like I can go on and on, but it'd just be rambling. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please share any thoughts that this may have spurred up. If you have any counterpoints, if you have anything that I said that you don't agree with, let me know. Challenge my thoughts. Let me know. Or if you have anything to add. Once again, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Share. You don't have to share this video, but share the message. Be there for yourself. Journal. Show kindness to yourself. But also be hard on yourself. Be not rigid, but be strict. When you say you're gonna do something, follow through. And even if you fail, don't give up on that. Try again. If it matters enough to you, that in itself says more than a fleeting thought. Then, like, if you that's easy. End the video. It's end the video. I missed some things. I could have said some more things, but that's the beauty of the why I make these videos, and how I say these things. Is I don't want to convey everything. I want to convey the major parts, the clear parts, but it's also important for us as humans to be able to break things down, read between the lines, process, think for ourselves. Think for yourself. Fuck. The amount of times I see these motherfuckers just taking opinions that they see on the internet and be like, oh, this is true. This person said this, so it's true. You stupid bird brain motherfucker. God damn. Y'all motherfuckers. Y'all motherfuckers. We all need guides. We all need teachers. We all need mentors at some point in our lives. We all need reminders. Sometimes you're gonna see lessons appear until they really sinks in. Sometimes it's just a matter, like sometimes you see a lesson and you'll learn a lesson from it, but there's more to learn from it, so you'll see it repeating. If you keep making the same mistakes, keep doing the same things, you keep making the same mistakes, look at what you're doing. If you're in a position in your life that you feel like you've been in for too long, look at what you've been doing. Sometimes it's not what you're doing, it's what you're not doing. And also vice versa. Sometimes it's not what you're not doing, and sometimes it is what you're doing. That could be keeping you in certain states. Physically, mentally, it's a big thing. When you're thinking thoughts, manifestation is real. The law of attraction is real. Like, I'm not gonna speak for certain moments, but like, I've had things in my life that's like, I've essentially, I'm not that I've created this, but my thoughts and my actions have led me to this point that's like, this could have been avoidable, but it's because of the things that I've circulated in my brain and in the universe, in the zeitgeist. Is that the word? That it's happened. Yeah, thank you. Hope you're doing good though. If you're not doing good, hope hope that turns around. Hope you eventually become better. Sometimes you have to go through hell to get to heaven. The road of redemption is not an easy one. It's not a short one. The road to enlightenment, to being one, to being whole, to finding love, to being love, it's not an easy one. But don't conflate your mistakes, those things. Acknowledge that they happen, acknowledge that they will happen, acknowledge that nobody's perfect. You're gonna make mistakes. There's gonna be certain decisions that you make that you may have hesitated, you may have thought this may or may not go well, and should you have had another choice, but you made this one, don't be remorseful for the missed opportunity, and don't be remorseful for the situation that you're in. Acknowledge, okay, I could have made a better decision. I'm in this position now. How do I move past this? How do I move past this? How do I get past this? How do I improve my situation? Sometimes what you need is not a different situation, but to be a different person. I forget who that quote's from, but it's from a person. I'd be at 23 minutes. Take care, love yourself, drink more water, eat more fruits, touch grass, journal, meditate. Talk to people, talk to elders, talk to kids. You can learn anything from anybody. You truly can. And sometimes it's in those random moments, in the moments that we didn't predict, those variables, that true lessons, long-term lessons, long-term memories, things that really resonate, those moments, those are the moments. Love and peace, man. Peace and love.